Greetings, gamer guys and gals. I'm Zeake, welcoming you to the 20th part of my Let's Play Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Let's commence. Hey, what's this? What is it, Commander? Look here, this is the only place in these ruins where I've seen healthy grass growing. You're right, I wonder why. And I found this. A white feather? So we were right. The Heron is around here somewhere. It's possible, but... Ike, over here! What now? Nazir, what have you found? A Heron. I do not speak that language. Yet again. That's a girl. Nazir, you said that the male Heron we met was the only surviving member of the race. I believed it to be true. To find another survivor, it's a miracle. Hey, wait, please. I must speak. And she faints. Come on, wake up. She's fainted, dead away. I guess there's nothing I can do but wait for her to come around. I wasn't trying to frighten her. Oh ho ho ho! I found you at last, my beautiful treasure. It's about time you showed your bloated face, Duke Tanis. Oh, no mistake about it. That is the spectacular work of art I paid so much to obtain. You still claim ownership, do you? No, wait. Something's different. This is a female? You mean to tell me that yet another lives? How spectacular. Men, bring me that Heron, but do her no harm. You'll never have her. Again? Will this corpulent windbag never learn? Form up, troops. We must protect the Heron. Alright, so we will not be reinforcing yet again. But interestingly enough, for this stage, as well as the next stage, we will be holding a Leanne Heron, and we're going to have our speed and skill halved as if we were holding a regular unit with Ike, and you cannot drop her or give her away. So Ike is pretty well handicapped. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to get him to level 20 before these chapters, so I wouldn't even have to deal with it. Though I'm pretty sure with how well Ike has turned out, he wouldn't have too much problems regardless. Alright, so we are going to have to survive this for 10 turns, and I don't believe there's very much here to steal. There's a couple of things that you can obtain. Yeah, a men's staff and an Elfire, and I believe that's it. I don't know if any of the reinforcements have anything, but I doubt it. So we're just going to go ahead and take up a defensive position at first, and then we're going to try to rout the chapter, basically. Alright, let's begin. Alright, Ike. You have no business being out in the open. Alright. We can get rid of this pole axe for the time being. Don't exactly know who is going to take upon themselves to have that axe, but it will not be Marsha, that's for sure. Okie dokie. And I think that's a pretty decent defensive line. Alright, Boyd, show 'em what for. And they both missed. Hilariously surprising. Not very unexpected, though. Vented weapons in general in this game have very poor hit rates. What was that? Was that the wind I felt? I couldn't be for sure to tell you, honestly. Interesting maneuver here. Attacking a swords master with a hammer. I think that's the least hit on an axe weapon in this game is a hammer. Impressive. Quite impressive. She's already a little bit bulkier than... I think a little bit bulkier than Stefan. Her speed, skill, and strength are not as good. But by the time she's level 8, I'm pretty sure they'll be pretty comparable. Not exactly, the same, but comparable. Alright, we need to clear out some of these folks around here. Since this is a survival chapter, there's no speeding it up, per se. I know that in later games, some of them have, differentiating tasks in which you can speed up maps by defeating the boss or, routing the map before the survival turn's necessary. I don't think any of that applies to any of the maps in Path of Radiance. Nice miss. I think he had a pretty high amount of hit, too. That's pretty intriguing. Alright. Alright, so what we could do, as a thought here, because we definitely want to get rid of as many of these guys as possible. Very nice, Mia. No counterattack suffered. Oh, wow. He has exactly, no hit on this guy. Alright, so what we could do... Yeah, I think we'll have to do this. Get some chip damage in. Ooh, this might KO. And it did. Awesome. It was about to be chip damage, and then it turned into Mr. Boyd here not giving a care. Not one care given. Oh, that's a very real thing here. Yeah, you have to be careful with all of these maps. They have very terrible terrain issues, and you can find yourself pretty much slowed down to a crawl if you put your units too far in one space and it happens to be around nothing but mud. Alright, I think we'll take the KO with Marsha here. Want to remove as many of these long-range units as possible. Your weapon triangle doesn't scare me. Ha! Our good old friend Marsha over here, not worried one bit about terrain. That was adorable. It is quite possible that Boyd is about to get surrounded here. Take quite a bit of damage, which is fine. It's one of the reasons why I healed him up last turn. Might have seemed kind of pointless, but using a physic will grant a bit more weapon EXP, and once she gets to S rank, I no longer have to worry about whether or not she could accidentally get to S rank with swords. It's one of the reasons why I've hold off from using the arm scrolls on her. Mist is a very awesome combat unit in the late game for reasons we will later discover that are pretty... I think most people think they're underwhelming and kind of pointless because they're not necessary. It's not necessary to have a Mist be combat effective. And she's never going to be able to tank physical hits, so that's not a thing either. But what she can do is pretty cool, so we're going to have to get into that when we actually come across it. In fact, the first instance of her being able to use one of these swords that we'll be giving her to make her combat effective is only a few chapters away. It's pretty close. All right. Good job, Oscar. It was pretty much not going to happen that he would miss there. But you never know. We are just about out of this steel lance. I think we might end up wanting to keep at least a couple steel lance uses on her, but we'll see. Really just depends. All right, so we do have a menagerie of enemies over here to take care of. Let's go ahead and do just that. Very nice Adept Brock. Totally not useful. But who cares if it was? Let's queue that other Steel Lance up for Titania. Yeah, some of these broken weapons are going to get replaced. I think it would probably be a good idea to give Titania that poleaxe that we put on Ike. At least it would be an interesting idea. Is it necessary? I don't think so. Is it interesting? Yeah, I'd say so. Alright. One-shots this mage. I think we'll take advantage of that. Very good. Very good. I tell you, like, the GBA games and the Tellius games, oh man, warriors are underrated archers. I don't know how many people honestly don't appreciate warriors as archers, because they're pretty fantastic units, considering that they can use axes, I mean, any old time, and then they have a much higher strength degree than any sniper in any of the games, so it's pretty cool to use them in that way. We probably don't have too much longer, maybe a couple more chapters and she'll be at S rank staves, which the S rank staff in this game is pretty cool, and I'm definitely going to be taking full advantage of it when we do have it, but it's not absolutely necessary. You can go through this whole game without it. If you just get A rank in staves with one of your staff wielding units, that's more than enough. Very nice hit. Alright, so we have cleared out a bit of the enemies. One thing we could do, heal up Oscar here. Just a few points, but hey. Weapon rank and all. And again, I would like it to have Soren at C rank so he can use physics staves. That's really the only reason why I train up his staff rank. Physic is just awesome. When it comes to his weapon ranks otherwise, you only need A rank fire and A rank wind in order to have the best tomes that you can possibly get in those two varieties. However, if you're using a thunder mage, or if you're using Soren with thunder, you would have to get to S rank to take advantage of the most powerful S rank, or the most powerful thunder tome, which is an S rank. And it's pretty cool too, so it's definitely something worth thinking about. Worth considering, at least. I'm not going to be using the Thunder Tomes in this game, so that's not really a point for me, so not very useful. There's also really no point in... There's no requirement. It's not that there's no point, because the best Thunder Tome in this game is actually pretty powerful, and even with only double effectiveness, if you're fighting dragons with it, you will do horrendous damage, since thunder is effective against dragons. However, I do like that word a lot, apparently. It's just not necessary. Okie dokie. One-shotting. Boy, you don't have a monopoly on that. Soon enough, there might be very many other units that we have who can do that as well. A notable example would probably be... Oh, I think we'll just leave it at you'll find out soon enough. Okay, that's our turn there. And we have to take care of all these mages. I don't think they're going to pose too much of a threat to us, though Oscar has pretty terrible resistance. So it is why they're attacking him. Marsha, on the other hand, I believe has our best resistance. Her and Titania are pretty neck and neck in that. And it's actually a pretty good growth of Titania as well, that she has a lot of resistance growth. At least for, you know, an average unit in this game. Yep, we only have a few more uses of the David sword. If we run out of the David sword during our time in here, it very well is likely that I'm going to be giving her the Dagdar sword on Mia. Since Mia's making more than well enough with just the iron blade she has. Which are actually pretty good weapons once you get over their weight. Alright. Yep. What can you expect out of wind other than that it will just about always hit? And we are one-shotting this fire mage. Again, Boyd, you just don't have a monopoly on that one. Mages in this game are pretty terrible in their statistics, though. At least for the earlier parts of the game, up until the mid. Some of the GBA games just have terrible mages throughout. I actually think it's really funny that a lot of people say that Hector hard mode is the definitive hardest difficulty of Fire Emblem 7. I kind of don't agree, because the majority of the late game maps, they just throw a ton of unpromoted enemies, especially mages. And I think I can recall maybe a handful of times where my Hector never got resistance, which is really funny because he's pretty well competent against it. And it's funny because the later chapters in that game just, especially on, I don't even play Hector hard mode 9 times out of 10, because Hector normal mode is just more difficult in my opinion. Especially if you're doing all the Gaiden chapters, because some of the later game Gaiden chapters are pretty cool. One thing I do miss in Fire Emblem is guidance. Definitely got to say that. Yeah, I think we will definitely be giving her the Dagdar sword, because we're going to go ahead and finish this guy off here. Good hit. You weren't missing, but good hit anyway. All right. And Mist is all healed up. And we have C rank and staves. Pretty cool. One of the many reasons why I brought extra physics. Alright, so now we can just take this guy out with our resident Boyd over here and complete our turn with that. I do like Colossus, but I think it's much cooler in the axe form than it is in the bow. Not that it's not cool. It is definitely cool in both, but it's just that Colossus in the axe form looks more akin to like the crazy criticals of some of the GBA games, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't particularly think that these games are as good as some of the GBA games. Seeing that we don't have the crazy cool animations. I mean, I definitely agree that those are things that shouldn't have never been changed in the series, is having flashy, showy, you know, mechanics and criticals and attacks and stuff. I prefer that. Yep. Pretty close. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, you know, the fact that we promoted Mist at the very earliest we possibly could, and she still has this good of stats, and she still has 10 levels to grow. It's pretty awesome. I am definitely a big fan of early promoting and really taking advantage of the time that you have with your units. Alright, let's just keep on going. This is probably the longest stretch in these chapters as well. Technically, the next stage could be longer if you played it real slow, but we're not going to be doing that. So, this is the longest stretch for us. Alright, Boyd dodging as usual. He's actually pretty dodgy, and that's not something very typical for Boyd. Yeah, let's go ahead and finish this guy off. He's quite a bit weaker than his counterparts over real close to him, too. Not so sure why he has such a low HP threshold compared to the others. But nothing we can do about that. Poor guy got defeated earlier, that's all we can say. Boyd getting great use out of this bow. I wonder if he's even reached D bows yet. Yes, he did, in fact. Alright. Let's go ahead and get rid of the steel lance. Nice crit. Okay. We'll just move her back into the defensive position. Technically, we could heal up our resident Mia, and we'll be doing that with Mist once she moves back, but I don't want to move her way out. Nice one. It's funny, too, because Mia's outfit actually entirely reminds me... It almost makes me think like they made her outfit specifically to harken back to a specific character in the Drug Draw games who was your Jagan in at least Thracia. The outfit looks pretty similar. I wouldn't say it's the exact same, but it is similar. And we can mend up Mia. Alright, all these guys are coming up closer. We could definitely go for taking out this guy here. We might be able to move some people out of the way too. So let's go ahead and do that, actually. Simple Wind Tome. And a simple critical. That's one of the things I will say. Radiant Dawn did so much better when it comes to the crits and the mastery skills and the skill animations than Path of Radiance did. And you could blame that on the whole, you know, the fact that this is an older game thing, but to me, with the technology they had and the animations on GameCube, they could have did them better. I definitely don't think they're as slow as people say they are. Phases can take forever. If you're playing, especially on difficult mode, that's true, but that's even more true for the lovely Radiant Dawn. Alright, so this is the nameless, faceless boss of this map. He wasn't very effective. Okie dokie. And we can take out this mage right here with Titania. And that'll be all for our turn. Ooh, guard. Effective use of that guard there. And that's it for our turn. I do think that some of the tomes in this game do look a little bit better than the tomes in Radiant Dawn. I think it's kind of like mixed between the two. There are some that are better, some that are worse. El Thunder is definitely one that looks better in this game. I just like the fact that you call forth that thunder that goes across each other in a wall formation. I think it looks pretty cool. El Thunder in Radiant Dawn just is thunder, but with like 3 bolts. It's not that imaginative. Taking full advantage of our full guard, we were there. Ah, what vexatious wretches. I am overmatched. I can't believe I'm saying this, but there's another white Heron. Retreat, retreat. Leave them their prize. He didn't seem too happy with us. Blast! Duke Tennis has escaped. Ike, perhaps trying to fight with that Heron on your back is not the wisest of ideas. Why don't we take her to the Apostle before moving on? We finally got Duke Tannis on the run. I don't intend to stop until we've captured or killed that monster. I understand, but shouldn't we at least let someone else carry the Heron? Truth be told, she's unbelievably light. I barely know she's there. Is that so? I think she weighs, I'd say about half as much as Mist. Wow, I'm surprised. I'll bet you are. What are you grinning about, Boyd? Oh, nothing. I'm just amazed. Did you know you're 2 times heavier than she is? I'm glad I don't have to carry you around. It'd be like wearing an extra suit of armor. You pig, you're the worst. And Mist gains the smite ability for a cutscene. Gwah! Alright, maybe I exaggerated a bit, but she's still lighter than you. Well, what do you expect? She's a bird. Commander, if this battle is going to continue, I think we should get more reinforcements. Alright, so that was Chapter 17, Daybreak's Stage 3. I'll see you next time.